Good morning, everybody. Welcome to one of several of our Nuvola and 8x8 sessions that we're running, partner recruitment. Thank you for taking the time. We're just going to hold on just for a couple of minutes just to make sure that everybody's managed to get themselves logged in correctly, and then we will start. Good morning, everybody. It looks like we've got a majority of the attendees on, so that's great. So again, thank you all for taking time out of your day this morning on a lovely summer's morning for one of our Nuvola partner webinars to run through how we can, as Nuvola Distribution, help our partner community take 8x8 to their customers. Today, obviously, we have myself, David Green, our Senior Partner Manager from 8x8, will run through all things 8x8, the current market right now, and obviously the story around how 8x8 are strong currently in the UCAS and CCAS arena. And we also have a bit of a guest appearance, Wayne from i3, just going to literally take 5 minutes of the webinar just to run through a really good proposition that we have around collaboration spaces right now, where we're seeing some really good growth now that things are starting to go back to some normality. So not a huge agenda today, but as I mentioned before, introductions from myself, the market opportunity with David Green and the key trends, and obviously what you're all here for is to understand how you as a partner can become an 8x8 reseller. And we'll run through the different propositions that are available for you both in the wholesale market and referral. So we are quite unique in the space in that we are able to provide our partners the ability to decide whether or not they want to bill their customers, both for UK and Ireland, or move on the referral programme. And we'll talk more about that as we go along. First of all, which is the main reason why you're all here today, is to listen to David Green from 8x8. So I'm just going to pass over the mantle to Dave, and he will run through his slides with you. Over to you, Dave.
Thank you, Karen. Good morning, everyone. Hopefully you can see my screen now. Can you?
Yep, we can see your screen.
Excellent. Let me just get rid of the GoToMeeting piece and put that into presenter mode. So, good morning. As Karen has kindly done, she's introduced me. So, this is myself. I have been with 8x8 since 2014, through which time 8x8 has grown and evolved, certainly with the market. We're now at a place where we have an established and comprehensive wholesale proposition. Nuvola are one of our major distributor partners for the UK and Ireland, and obviously my job today is to give you a view of 8x8 and how we can hopefully support you as a channel partner of Nuvola. So to give you some information, ladies and gents, just about 8x8, and I will do this at a a high level. There will be an opportunity to ask questions at the end. So I'll just begin by doing some positioning for you. So we as a business are actually have been around quite a long time. So the name 8x8 comes from a reference to pixels. We started out in 1986 as a video conferencing business, and that's where the name came from. And through that, we evolved into an early adopter of voice over IP in the US market, and indeed became a market leader for voice over IP into the small business market in the US. So rolling the clock forward to today, we've just been again placed by Gartner in the top right hand corner as a Magic Quadrant leader for UCaaS. That's 9 years in a row. And we are a CCaaS, so contact center as a service, Magic Quadrant challenger for the 6th year in a row. We have a really strong heritage of innovation, and probably the most important thing I can tell you about our business from a technology point of view is we own our own technology. So there's no third party in there, there's no involvement from any of the big legacy names you would know. We're a business that develops our own tech. We are acquisitive, so we have bought businesses, but we fold those into our proposition. So to date, we have 220 patents. We have significant investment in research and development, as you can see the reference there. Why is that stuff important? It's important because of the rate of change of what is happening in our markets. You will see this in technology sort of per se, but particularly in this market, things are changing very quickly. It's very important that we are able to offer what I'll glibly phrase a future-proof proposition for your customers. We can do that, and we can prove that we can do it by we share roadmaps and we share what we think the future looks like. We've also got some really good examples of what we've done there, and I'll try and touch on those later. One other thing to say, and I think Karen will reference this, I'm not really going to talk about the detail in product today, more about the proposition. We do have a way to facilitate for you guys to look at our technology. Nuvola can do that, and we can help them do that. So just to sort of position, it's really around our proposition and the market for today. Look, as a business, to give you some idea of our scale, track record of customer success, we've got over 1 million business customers, so we're not consumer, we are business. Our largest UCaaS deployment is with Regis serviced offices, who many of you, I'm sure you'll be familiar with. So we have a deployment in excess of 70,000 licenses for that organization. It's a global deployment, which does include thousands of seats of contact center at the front end of Regis also. Okay, so give you some high level numbers. A really important element as well to give you around our business, ladies and gents, is 1/3 of the employees in our business are based in the UK and Europe. So we are not, whilst we have an American parent, we are not a satellite sales office for these guys. We bought a business in 2013, which was a UC business selling a competitor's product. We've obviously taken that product out, but we have all business units from pre-sales all the way through to invoicing, collecting money, etc., and we support obviously all our partners in that manner. So we are a comprehensive, fully equipped business rather than a satellite office. We are channel led, so you will see that nearly 60% of our channel bookings, growth of 60% year-on-year growth for channel, and we do a huge percentage of our sales through channel. We recognize in the UK and in Europe that businesses want to buy through service providers rather than vendors. It's a more economical route to market for us, obviously, but more importantly in UK and Europe, businesses that deliver a service wrap, so deliver several services, are the way to market for us. And you will see that we have more than 1,000 active partners worldwide. Please don't be put off by that from a saturation point of view. Many of those partners are tactical rather than strategic. So what I mean by that is they are doing, a handful in some cases deals a year. Others do more. So it's really about, what type of business they are. We can have IT businesses who want to collect the revenue and support their customers where they can, or we can have telco, what we would call legacy telco partners, who will sell our product as their door opener and their primary. So we have a real mix. Something I need to alert you to is the proliferation in our market and the rapid growth of pure cloud multi-channel contact center. It is one of the most important plays that is happening into what, again, I'll call the telco market from a legacy point of view. How businesses communicate with their customers and how they push them through their business to give them the best customer service they can. At the core of that has to be the appropriate technology. We at 8x8 think we have the best platform for that, because we are the only UCaaS and contact center provider that delivers both off one platform. There are significant productivity and efficiencies to be derived from that, and we'll talk a bit more about that as we go on. Give you a size of the company, 1,600 employees. That's growing quite rapidly, and we have 15 offices in 10 countries globally. So we stretch across the world to support you guys from a perspective of Asia, Australia, the US, and into Europe. So if we look a little bit at the market, many of you will recognize many of these names. So the three areas we focus on are legacy telephony, contact center, and meeting solutions. All the names you'll see, look, what we're talking about here are huge markets which are transitioning, converting to pure cloud multi-channel very quickly. You won't be surprised to hear, and I'm sure you will have seen this yourselves in your own businesses, COVID has accelerated that. So businesses that never allowed their employees to work from home were forced to. That has given a couple of challenges. And one of the main challenges in all the tech we'll talk about that our technology helps customers with is if you have any of these products from a legacy point of view, or if they are using any of these products from a legacy point of view, you have individual instances in individual offices. So you need different reporting, different monitoring to cover a disparate set of offices. If you have pure cloud technology, if you have 8x8, you can see all offices to report and monitor through one pane of glass. That has been the most compelling part of our proposition over the last 18 months. What I will also say is obviously UCaaS is quite developed as a product. There's almost a commodity element to it, and I drive to the bottom. Having CCaaS on our platform really differentiates. And there's a couple of really blunt messages here, ladies and gents, which are CCaaS and UCaaS on the same platform is where the money is. There is more money in the sale for you, and there's more revenue, there's more profit. So please bear that in mind. So look, we are displacing Avaya, Cisco, Mitel. We have churned the majority of the Mitel base in the UK, and I'm not exaggerating there. We have moved a lot of those partners over, and we're starting through the process with Avaya because of the challenges Avaya have with RingCentral's agent-only model. We more recently, in the last sort of 18 months, 2 years, we have a collaboration product that competes with Cisco, with Microsoft. I'll talk more about Teams in a minute, and LogMeIn. So we've got the whole legacy. All of these markets, ladies and gents, are migrating to pure cloud very quickly. We don't discriminate with regards to size of customer or vertical. Just on the verticalization piece, I'm going to show you a slide in a moment, which will give you a view of our customers. We are servicing all verticals. We don't support those as a business with specific silo sales units, but we are evolving there, and we will be doing that over a short time. From a size point of view, we have customers that have 1 or 2 seats, all the way up to tens of thousands of seats or licenses rather. So we can service those, and we will support you through Nuvola with salespeople applicable to that sale. So we support you with a small business, salesperson, mid-market, enterprise, etc. The reason for that is we want to deliver the right support to you with regards to references, market information. We provide battle cards so we can tell you what the competition are doing, etc., etc. So we'll support you in that way, and of course Nuvola can support you with a lot of that intelligence also. Look to the left-hand side, you'll see cloud communications adoption, 23% last year, 33% forecast for next year. I would say that the acceleration on that is higher than that, and just anecdotally from what we've seen around COVID. That applies both to the global market, but also Western Europe. You can see some numbers there. I'm not going to spend much time on this, guys. It is happening, and I'm sure you're seeing it, which is why you've attended the call today. Give you a view of 8x8 Cloud, and look across the piece. Media and entertainment, we've seen a lot. Personally, I've been involved with Hollywood Bowl, which have got lots and lots of sites, I think sort of 40, 50 plus. They've rolled out our solution very aggressively. The reporting and again the monitoring I referenced before, very, very important to them. Previously with their legacy system, they would have had to buy licenses and have had to do work in the back end to monitor each individual site on a site-by-site basis. With 8x8, they can see the whole estate. Healthcare, lot of focus in that area. Personally, I've been involved on the manufacturing side with Terex. Terex have got some significant sites both in Northern Ireland and the Republic. That is a global deal for in excess of 10,000 UC seats, and we deployed and ripped and replaced a global solution by Avaya for that, and supported with Salesforce integration. So that was a really good one. In the United Kingdom, we have a very, very strong play into the public sector. So that again has been accelerated by the COVID piece, but we have churned in excess of 20 NHS trusts, and that's around delivering better patient experience with our contact center at the front of a healthcare organisation, and getting patients to the right people within these organisations as quickly as possible. So as you can see, there's a real breadth. On the left-hand side with technology, look, many times you won't be surprised, technology organisations are early adopters with various areas of comms, because effectively it's their work around dev and they understand in some cases and they want to integrate. We have strong API integration capability, so as well as integrating into market leading CRMs, we have the API capability for those businesses also to take some of our tech and consume it as they wish. So a real breadth there. Look, we've referenced this a couple of times and I won't dwell on it because you can see it. You've probably seen it happen yourselves. From what I've seen in the market, you had many, the biggest impact is you've had many mid-market customer service functions that have really struggled to adopt through COVID. That's the sort of, I want to try and be careful with my language because we're talking about a very serious situation, but the sweet spot in where we have focused with organizations that have needed help is organizations maybe that ran contact centers on telephone only from an office and never allowed their employees to work from home. 8x8, again, the reporting and monitoring was strong there. The contact center element of what we offer, though, allows them to monitor and support agents. We have some speech analytics in our contact center, which really allows contact center leaders and support staff to help their agents. That is particularly important if you are bringing on new agents and they are having to work from home. Being able to support new agents that work from home over the last 18 months has been really difficult for these businesses because in previous life, they would have supported them in the office. They can sit next to them, stand over them, telling them what to say, etc., etc. Our speech analytics allows somebody in, let's say, Manchester to listen to somebody and see somebody in real time, an agent for their company in London, and help them online, say this, look out for the flags, deal with difficult customers because they can see and hear that dialogue in real time. That's been really, really important. When you think about contact centers, 75% of the cost in a contact center is a person. You do not, if you are running a contact center, want to be churning agents quickly. You want to be retaining them. We have key advantages in our technology to support agent adoption and ensuring that they are retained. So you can see top lines there. So before COVID, early COVID, and today, you know, I think we can all take a view, but generally, I think the way businesses are working and have changed working in the last year, that is going to resonate moving forward. It's difficult to see there'll be a wholesale return to 5 days a week. There may be in some companies, but I'm talking with a breadth. There has been a step change, and that step change will probably remain to some extent. And having the appropriate technology for businesses to support their employees with that is really key. Again, some stats about thinking in the further long term. Gartner, who we reference here, predicting by 2022, CCaaS will be the preferred model of 50% of organisations. I can't over-iterate how quickly we see on-prem contact centres churn into pure cloud multi-channel. Unfortunately, they're not all coming to us, but if you don't have a pure cloud multi-channel proposition, guys, please consider 8x8. Okay, to give you a high level of our unified platform and what it offers. You can see, in short, it's video conferencing, it's contact center, it's telephony and messaging. If I can talk through, and I'll try and do this quite quickly, what we're trying to support is businesses, and trying to focus on with our technology, and it is proving to be the case, is businesses want agile technology that allows them to use customer service as a weapon against their competition. So effectively, if you think of commodity markets, how are they going to differentiate? They are going to give their customers a better experience from a service point of view. How do they do that? They want to be delivering first call resolution. So with our technology, that could be as simple as a call comes in to an organization using our technology. They have integrated 8x8 into their CRM. For example, let's call that Salesforce. The agent takes the call, they see that that person has called in, they can see on the CRM that twice in the previous week they also called about an issue with their bill. That agent with 8x8 technology can look up the subject matter expert, in this case somebody in their billing team, and if they're available, they can see on the presence, they can drop them a note saying, hey, I have John on the phone, he's calling again about his bill. The person in billing will be able to draw up their information, the agent can transfer the call, hopefully they can rectify the call or provide more information. That as opposed to somebody sitting in an IVR, not having their call answered in real time, and maybe having to leave a message because the agent is working on some an old PBX or a legacy piece of kit where they are not able to see presence, message, etc., etc. That's the simplest, and hopefully I kept it as simple as possible to give you a view of what the tech helps with at a high level. It's probably important, you guys, if you haven't already seen the technology, see it, and Karen and the team at Nuvola with our support can deliver that for you in short time. The other element to talk about, ladies and gents, is Microsoft for Teams. I'm sure you'll all appreciate and all see to a degree out in the both small business all the way through mid-market to enterprise markets. Teams is a very significant play, and it is growing, and it is growing very quickly for all the reasons that I've discussed before. Before COVID, we saw a tipping point in the contact center market, moving to pure cloud. UC is prevalent ahead of analog, ISDN, etc., etc. So Teams has grown for all those reasons. Teams we recognise at 8x8 as the primary communicator tool in the market today. The weakest part of that proposition is voice. If you are using voice in a single site for employees to call each other and speak to each other, it is fine. Once you start to require some, business PBX functionality, an SLA, some calling bundles to call abroad, any kind of integration, any kind of analytics, it falls short. And 8x8 has an integration which carries no charge to you as the partner. You can certainly uplift and charge to your customer, but it carries no charge to you. We are finding, sold in the right way, our Teams integration is being very, very well received. If you Google, you will see that we are Microsoft Teams certified. So Microsoft has actually gone to the market and said, if you are considering using a contact center with Teams, Microsoft certify 8x8. There are very few businesses today that are in that position, so we have a good play there. And importantly, because businesses are going to take Teams, they need some education, and this is where you guys will run your businesses as a trusted advisor, and it's steering around. And we found, we went through the whole gambit with Skype for Business for this. It's very difficult to go in there and say you don't want to use Teams. They do want to use Teams because it's very strong. The voice element, though, is the key where it's helped, and needs help, and we have a really strong sort of provision for that. So that's an area you want to look at. We are seeing that in all markets, again, to reiterate, both commercial and public sector. So there's plenty of collateral available for that. There are demonstrations available for it. So those areas are the key that I've touched on. When you have customers that are using Teams, and if they are just using Teams for voice and they require enterprise telephony, so what we're talking about there is business functionality. They require any sort of integration. To give you a view, and I'm not a Microsoft basher, I'm a customer, I see it. Microsoft Teams doesn't integrate to Dynamics. So, if you need any kind of integration, 8x8 has many integrations, and I'll use a crude phrase here, off the shelf or out of the box. That means we've built integrations into those third parties. So we have Salesforce, ServiceNow, Dynamics I've referenced, NetSuite, some of the specialist CRMs into particular verticals as well. So if I'm thinking off the top of my head, someone like Bullhorn for recruitment, but we have many more. Global calling capabilities. So with our bundles, we have calls to international sites included. The advanced analytics, I would urge you to take a look at the analytics that we offer. There's real breadth into what is happening in an estate in real time. That's really key. So if you have problems, and I'll use a simple one like an IVR, you can reassign agents to a call queue in real time if you see that is blocked. That's a real simple view. There is much more to that and the depth of analysis that our technology offers. What I would say, in my experience of seeing what happens in the market, that is the door opener. So you've got, as a trusted advisor, a capability to take your customer on a journey from voice-only contact center all the way through to multi-channel, which can be using social media, email, web chat, etc., etc. You don't want to do too much too early. You probably will from a revenue point of view, but in how you take that customer on a journey, the really strong door opener for our product, both in UC and contact center, is our advanced analytics, and it's very important in the Teams play. And finally, just to say, and I know I'm repeating myself, but it's important, this element is our Teams integration is Microsoft certified for the contact center. So please take a look at that and speak to Karen and the team about it if you have questions. Okay. I'm going to wrap up with a couple of slides. There's a bit around the edges here that are worth saying. Just to reiterate, I manage 8 partners, including Nuvola. I've worked in this business for a number of years, as I've said. What I can't overemphasize, if you don't have a pure cloud multi-channel contact center and pure cloud UC in your portfolio today, I would urge you to look at that. We see huge levels in the market of migration from legacy to pure cloud, and we see it accelerating. So it is happening now. The market is enormous. So globally, I think there's a number in excess of $50 billion revenue, but that change is happening very, very quickly. So I would urge you to consider that if you don't have pure cloud in your portfolio, and please come and talk to Nuvola about 8x8. What do we do to support you? So we use several partners around intent data. So you will both want to churn your existing base, but you want to find some new customers as well. We help you with that data. So we use a partner there called Bombora. So for you to go out and find new customers, we will give you some data. We ask you to tell us the geography you're looking at and the size of the business, in some cases the vertical, and we can use this partner to find you some businesses that are looking at or considering new UC and new contact center. We also we have a very established and mature marketing channel marketing proposition that we push through Nuvola and work with Nuvola to develop. That includes all sorts of campaigns, some of them focused on particular verticals, all of them around operating anywhere with our tools. Okay, so we've also got a primo which is referenced there, so for an automation point of view. And finally, we do something called Blitz Days. This is a nice phrase for cold calling. It still exists, partners still like to do it, and what we do is we try and make it a bit more comfortable and a bit more exciting for our partners. So we run quarterly Blitz Days, and effectively we would give a service pack to our partners, to the guys and girls that are making the calls. So we send out 8x8 branded material, 8x8 and Nuvola branded material. We'll send them a couple of cans of Brewdog, some beer, some crisps, some chocolate, and we give prizes. So we do some nice stuff. We've done Fortnum and Mason hampers. We do some tech like headphones, speakers, etc., etc. And the challenge is to get some sales qualified leads, because that's what we all want, right? So we ask for our partners to get involved in those. They are really, look at a base level. I would imagine a lot of people, if your sales have done cold calling on this call, nobody likes it. It's still prevalent to a degree in the support of that intent data. But most importantly, I think what it does when you're adopting our technology, it gets your sales guys and girls to focus on our product and the Nuvola proposition, which is obviously what we're trying to support. So if you're trying to drive new technology into your customer bases and find new customers, your sales people will have lots of people vying for their time. We ask for a day in a quarter where you focus on our product, the Nuvola and 8x8 proposition, and they've been really rewarded. We've had days where we've had 30 plus sales qualified leads. So it's all about the preparation with the intent data and the effort, as you'll guess, but they've been really good. So we support those. We also run a raffle. So we go through a process there where we'll get some qualified pipeline. We put the raffle, we offer raffle tickets, and obviously at the end of the period when they're pulled out, people win prizes. So we've got several things going on to keep you guys interested and focused. So there's that piece. And a summary, look, 400 million plus legacy on-prem seats. It's a huge market, we know that. From our perspective, we use the phrase MRR, which is monthly recurring revenue. So the world is used to subscription services. So that's how we focus and how we charge. So what do you do next? Please get in touch with Karen. Hopefully I've given you what I wanted to do was really give you sort of 15 minutes or so only, a high level view of what our proposition looks like, why it's relevant, why it's important, and hopefully why you would consider talking to Karen and the team by 8x8 or about 8x8. Karen, that is me.
Perfect, that's great. Thank you ever so much for that, Dave. I'm sure you can all appreciate there's lots of information there. You know, the proposition for 8x8, as Dave explained, is huge right now. You know, the platform across both the UCAS and CCAS is extremely strong. So one of the things I forgot to mention at the beginning is there is a chat box, sorry, a questions box within GoToWebinar. Obviously, you know, conscious of time, so rather than open up the forum for you to ask questions verbally, it's always good to pop them in the questions box and we can run through those at the end.
Okay. Karen, who should I, are you taking the presentation?
Yes, yeah, if you could pop that over to me, that'd be great.
Okay. Okay, so I think I've stopped sharing my screen.
Let's see.
I've got make presenter Nuvola Marketing or Wayne.
That's it. Yeah, Nuvola Marketing, please.
There you go.
Fantastic. Great. So obviously the key thing here and how Nuvola Distribution can now support you on that journey is how do you start? Where do you start from here? Obviously there's lots of information there that we can run through and also look at doing some separate demonstration sessions with you guys individually. So that's absolutely something that we can do. But some of the key things as to why working with Nuvola can bring you more opportunity is that we've got the ability as a value-added distributor to provide you with the ability to either do your own training, both from a sales and technical point of view, to do your own implementations if you wish, or we can provide you with a full professional services wraparound, so that we can give you the ability to go out and sell the 8x8 proposition to your customers without needing to focus so much on any internal resource to get you to that point. So that's quite unique in the space. And as I mentioned early on, there is also the ability, if you wish, to look at the referral program, where effectively, you become an agent under the Nuvola banner, and literally you would be in a position where you can register your leads and opportunities, get some upfront spiffs, and then some ongoing recurring revenue. So there are two routes to market for you, which is great, and that is unique in this space. So to get you going, as I mentioned, that you can either look at the sales or technical. We always recommend that our partners do some of the sales training, just so you get yourselves familiar with the 8x8 platforms. We can help, we can fast track that for you. They are self-paced, or we can get you on some of the actual university training platforms. So, and as I said, we can fast track that for you. Now, we have partners that have immediate opportunities. You can almost call it run before they can walk. So if you don't have your sales training straight away, that's not going to stop us working with you to help you build a proposition for 8x8 into those immediate opportunities that you might have. We also have the option to provide and build really attractive commercials. So we want to be in a position where we understand it. It's a very commoditized market. But equally, we don't want to devalue the 8x8 proposition, but we always want to work with our partners to provide commercials that are attractive, but also means that as a business, if you're going down that wholesale route, that you can make some margins as a reseller, and that's the important thing here, right? If you wanted to take that proposition with 8x8 to the market, you have that ability to make some really, really good margins. And if we need to look at building, something more bespoke for some of our public sector opportunities out there, then, in partnership with 8x8, we will absolutely help you and make sure we get on board to win those deals for you. There's a portal called Partner Exchange, which is great. It's a really intuitive portal whereby once you get registered as a partner under Nuvola to go out and sell the 8x8 proposition, then you can start registering your own opportunities. It's a good way to, as I say, get things ring fenced against you and have the sales aligned SDMs within 8x8 as well as ourselves aligned to your opportunity, so that we can start having some really good conversations and support you into your customers. One thing to point out is that you know, we're not going to go and start talking to your customers without your say so. That's both wholesale or under the referral program. So we work this as a team. We're not, you know, going to be starting to talk to your customers without you involved with that whole process and that whole journey. And also what is key to mention is the dedicated account management and marketing support. Dave already touched on marketing, which is a really, really strong support that we do get with 8x8, like was mentioned on the Blitz Days, but equally account management. So if you do need our support to help you perhaps just, you know, come or overcome some of the objections you might be getting against some of the other big players in the marketplace, as Nuvola, you know, we don't just deal with 8x8, so we've got some really good intel in some of the other vendors out in the marketplace from being a more consultative distributor. So, you know, we're not just going to be, you know, tunnel visioned and only just helping you with an opportunity you bring to us. We're dedicated to help you and support you through that program. And with the marketing support, it does mean, again, that you may have your own marketing function within your business, or you might not have any at all. So look, let's take that on for you in partnership with 8x8. You know, we can build some marketing plans and support for you, which I can come on to on my next slide, which in fairness, I think this is probably one of the most important ways to get partners started on that journey. We really do see this as a partnership. You know, we need to have investment on both sides. So if our partners are really, really committed to going out there and pushing the 8x8 proposition, then we just start with marketing. So as Dave mentioned, again, you know, Blitz Days, once a quarter, once a month, however, you know, you wanted to run those is entirely up to you, and we'll support you with that. But with the marketing, you know, we do see it as a route to get your name and your awareness out there, that you're now partnering with 8x8, so that we can help you with landing pages, we can help you with partner recruitment, we can help you into campaigns, into, you know, specific verticals. You know, you may be really strong in education, you might be really strong in manufacturing. So there's really good stories and campaigns and telemarketing resource that we can throw at this for you to get you kick-started and get you off the starting blocks, basically, and get your name out there and get some really good opportunities coming your way. And again, commercial offers, that's obviously always something that our partners are keen to review, and we can build those into some of our marketing campaigns, where we may say, look, we'll offer, you know, a certain number of licenses, a discount, you know, whatever it needs that you feel is important to your end user base, we will review with you and get some campaigns put together. So there is a complete wraparound solution that, as I've touched on during the course of your journey with 8x8, that's important just to summarise on. So you've got different ways to purchase through Nuvola Distribution, the 8x8 proposition. Again, we can look at the agency model. Again, that's literally a referral program, as we touched on before. You register an opportunity. 8x8 are then involved from start to finish with pricing, proposals. You get your nice upfront spiff, and then an ongoing commission on a recurring revenue basis. That's absolutely fine. That's a very popular way. But also what we've seen in the market and what we've listened to our partners more and more over the last, you know, 6 to 12 months is that they still want to own the relationship with their customers. They still want the ability to resell what we would call a wholesale proposition into their customers. So we give the opportunity to do both. You can buy the licenses from us and do your own technical services if you wish, like I touched on earlier on the slides, or we can manage that whole proposition for you. You can buy professional services from us and resell that on to your customers. So there is a real good option for you to purchase the 8x8 solution. Again, as I just mentioned, there's a whole professional services wraparound here. So we can help you with pre-sales. So if you wanted some support to help you have a further conversation, to qualify an opportunity, we can do that. We can offer project coordination, project management. So the real complete professional services wrap is where we differentiate ourselves in the space from a distribution point of view into the 8x8. And again, partner support. So what I mean by that is we're offering you the partner support. Clearly, we're on hand. to help you as our partners. But it's important that we do this as a team. So the support we get with 8x8, it is a joined up approach. So we work together and support our partners, in the most agile way that we absolutely can. So I just wanted to do touch very briefly on Nuvola. Now we've got a lot of new resellers on, which is fantastic. Welcome to you all. But just I thought it was important just to give you a quick oversight as to who are Nuvola. Obviously, we're talking about 8x8. I'm not going to labour on about all of the different products that we do have in our portfolio, but I think it's important, going back to the partner support, is for you to understand, what we do have in our business and what all the different pillars look like within Nuvola. So obviously, again, I'll bring up the different pillars. You can see on there the different vendor technologies that we have within each. So obviously our intelligent networks side of things, there are some really huge names and some very clever solutions that we have within our kit bag for our partners. We have obviously the traditional unified communications pillar, so anything from our traditional on-premise solutions right through to headsets. What I think is quite key on this is that there are going to be a large number of partners that are still going to be running the legacy on-premise solution, and that's absolutely fine. That's great business. One of the things that we can support you guys with, if you're needing flexible support contracts, for example, is perhaps offer 6-month support contracts, just as an example, while you talk to those customers to move them across to more of the latest and greatest solutions that might, in the UC and CCaaS space. Obviously within cloud, which is where I head up, so the cloud TAS, technology as a service, these are all the different vendors within there that we work with, and they all fit a different a different opportunity, and we're very conscious that we don't want to be taking on many vendors and just be a jack of all and a master of none. It's important that we've spent the time to see where these different vendors fit different partner opportunities. We also have, and this is where I'm going to be bringing in Wayne in very shortly from i3, is what we call meeting room solutions. In fact, we've recently changed that to collaboration spaces, and Wayne can touch on this a bit more, but certainly with things now going back to normal, I guess the new normal that we're all going to be seeing when we're eventually in the offices a bit more, is that people still want to be able to collaborate in a meeting room environment. But what it also means is that not everybody needs to be in that room at the same time. You can still have workers at home, but having the right technology and the right licensing to be able to feel part of that one meeting is really, really important. Like I say, I won't steal Wayne's thunder, I'll let him elaborate on that. But the reason I wanted to bring Wayne into that is because in the space of as a service model, you could add on quite happily a 50 user room solution for probably as little as £1 or £2 per month to a license, and that would give you everything from a screen to a camera to the licensing required, and it doesn't matter what technology that customer is using, whether it's Teams, Zoom. It really is quite a niche area at the moment, which we're seeing a huge growth in, and like I say, Wayne can talk more on that. And underpinning all of the different pillars within the business is professional services. So as I've touched on before, we are a value-added distributor with a difference. We do pride ourselves in the fact that we can offer professional services across all of those different vendors, whether that's, as I mentioned, short-term maintenance contracts on some of the old legacy kit, for example, Nortel. There's many out there, Siemens. There are some really legacy platforms still out there, still working, by the way, still chugging along. So we can offer that right through to a complete 8x8 deployment with contact center and UCaaS. So we do pride ourselves on the fact that we have the ability to offer that. So before I jump into to Wayne, again, just to summarize on this screen, Nuvola services, obviously sales is what we're here for, but marketing, professional services, it's all on the screen. It's what we do best around all of those different technology vendors, and why we have the number of partners that we have. I mean, just look at some of the numbers here. We've got 600 plus active partners, which is amazing. We've got 20 vendors. That probably looks quite high, but actually, if you're looking at cables or headsets on the sort of what we'd call the more commoditized end, then it does soon add up. We've got 15 engineers across the country as well, and we do break out into 42 different countries, which is massive. And again, it's one of the things that we feel we need to make our partners aware, so that you can see, the reach within Nuvola. We also have one of our most recent announcements is Nuvola acquired Electromaster in Ireland. So they've now become part of the Nuvola group of companies. So welcome to some of our new partners on here today that are from the wonderful Ireland. It does mean that it gives us the ability now to transact, and also, the dreaded Brexit that we had to go through at the end of last year. It just gives us more scope and more possibilities to be able to support our partners across Ireland, which is fantastic. So I'm just going to hand over to Wayne now. As I mentioned, Wayne's just going to run through very, very quickly the i3 proposition, and hopefully I can hand this over to Wayne with no issues. Again, guys, if you've got any questions, just pop them into the questions box, and then we will run through those at the end. Over to you, Wayne.
Thank you, Karen. And everybody, thank you for having me in. It's a pleasure to meet you all remotely. So I'm going to keep this very short and very, very brief, because I appreciate it's been nearly our hour. So i3 Technologies, we are a meeting room technologies provider. Been in the technology space now for 50-something years. And what I wanted to briefly show the partners today is a new product from us called the i360 Pro. However, the idea being that whilst you're out in the market and you're doing all of those fantastic Blitz Days and things with partners like 8x8 and with the support of Nuvola, often the bit that people tend to forget about is the meeting room space. And to add some context, there's something like 5.5 to 6 million meeting rooms across the UK, of which 80-something% of them's technology is just not usable, not practical, so often gets forgotten about. Now, what we've done is, in association with Nuvola, is brought together a nice, really quick, easy to sell solution that encapsulates everything. So the i360 Pro, it's high-end versatility with super easy functionality. So when you're in your meeting space, whether you want to whiteboard, whether you want to wirelessly present your content, whether you want to video conference with partners outside of the room and inside the room, or whether you're looking to annotate across shared content, it's a one-stop shop for everything, all in one price. And being mobile, being an all-in-one solution, it means it really can work in any space you've got. The simplicity behind it is the one cable connection. So as I mentioned, a lot of the meeting spaces in the UK, the technology that's in there is just unusable for the average user. It's complicated, it's legacy, it doesn't work, or it's the wrong licensing. So what we've done is most people are now doing what they call bring their own conferencing. We've spent the last 18 months at home using platforms like 8x8, like Teams, like Zoom, RingCentral, whatever it happens to be. All of those platforms, all of that content, my way of working is all now on my laptop. So why go and invest loads and loads of money as a business into technology that people can't use? All of the conferencing stuff's already on my laptop, so why not make use of it? And that's what our solutions do. So I can bring my laptop in, single cable, connect it to my laptop, open up my chosen platform. Through that cable connection, I have my imagery, I have my sound connected, I have touch, I can take advantage of the integrated camera, the integrated microphone, the power, everything. So now my space becomes infinitely more usable, because I can walk in, plug my cable in, and within 10 to 15 seconds, I'm up and running. I don't have to be a VC expert anymore to get that going. And then the last slide being, as I said, this is all about multi-platform. So whether it's you're using Teams, whether you're using Skype, Cisco, WebEx, GoToMeeting, 8x8, as I said, platform is complete. So you're not having to be a platform specialist. This is about utilizing the platform that your customers are all, I'm sure you're already talking about, and adding a little bit more value, and more importantly, driving more revenue and profit for yourselves as a reseller by taking on those meeting spaces with the support of i3 and Nuvola. So that's it from me. Thank you very much for listening. I know it was short and sweet, and I'll hand back over to you, Karen.
Fabulous. Thank you, Wayne. Yes, it really is an opportunity that we see growing. So again, that's the reason why I just wanted to bring Wayne on, just to give you a very quick snapshot as to why, you know, we see this as a distributor, something that our partners can really go and now start discussing with their customers. Could you hand over the screen to myself, Wayne, just for the last 2 slides? 4 minutes left, keeping to time very well. Again, guys, any questions, if you do have any, pop them into my into the chat box there. So what are the next steps? I'm hoping by now you're thinking, great, where do I start? Some of you guys may already know 8x8 already, some of you might not. But I think, you know, the key things now here is next steps. Now, I'm going to make a point of reaching out to you all individually. But if you're looking at this thinking, yeah, okay, I do want to get going, we do see this as a partnership. A partnership, as I've put down there, is key to success, and it's key to success for you guys being able to go out there and making the most of this proposition. So quite simply, we would ask you to sign our Nuvola and 8x8 partner agreement. There's no commitment, so we're not going to tie you into a number of seats, a number of days training, anything. It's just really a commitment from you guys that you're, you know, serious to working with us, and then we can get going and start looking at how we build out marketing planning. Again, the agreement would be either agent or wholesale. You've got the choice. Hey, you could do both if you wished. So, you know, again, this is things that we can discuss individually with you guys, but the main thing is you have the option there. As I touched on, you know, we can then look at planning out marketing activities. You know, we need to get 8x8 on your landing page. We need to get some social awareness out there for you so that you can go and shout, you know, about 8x8 and, you know, your new venture with them to all of your end customers. You know, there really is an opportunity there for blended UCaaS and CCaaS, or just UCaaS or just CCaaS on its own. So, you know, the important thing is that 8x8 have a solution for all, and the integration, as Dave mentioned, with Teams, and also the integration with the contact center and the apps that are available, you know, it is really huge. From there, we would look to build out your partner exchange account. So we'd get you set up, which takes minutes, but also look to get you on a training session for an hour tops, just to help you navigate through the partner exchange portal and how you can start registering opportunities and have those allocated to somebody within 8x8 from a salesperson perspective to start helping you get on and close that business. And I think what's important is that, you know, together we sit down, or, you know, whether it's virtually or together, and look at building a business plan. Again, you know, the key to making things work is to have a plan and have some goals. And it might be that, you know, you have a plan just to go after a certain sector. Whatever that might be, you know, we can put plans in place and help you be successful with bringing on the 8x8 journey. So now we're going to move on to some Q&As. We do have some questions come in. I probably won't have a chance to go through all of them because there are quite a lot. But as I said, you know, my contact details will be available. So if you have any outside of this, then do give me a call or just drop me an email. But we'll also look at trying to get some demos aligned as well where we can. So questions that we've got here is, does 8x8 offer handsets to partners? And if so, do you or we have to buy handsets through 8x8, or can we source them through third parties? Look, you know, either. What we have is we've got a list of approved handsets. whether that's Yealink, Cisco, Poly, we can share those with you. They're actually quite accessible on the website as well. So look, if you guys have a route to market to buy your own, absolutely fine. You've got the option to do both. That's not a problem. Do you have a solution for PCI requirements? Yes, we absolutely do. PCI PAL, I believe, and there's other PCI solutions available. As Dave mentioned, you know, a lot of these solutions are integrated or can be out of the box. But yes, you know, more and more that we're seeing right now has that PCI requirement embedded in, you know, certainly if you're looking at legal or customers that are looking to take payments. Do you have a solution for workforce management? Absolutely. So 8x8 do have a fantastic workforce management solution within their portfolio. Again, if anybody wants any further information on that, because obviously an hour is just not long enough to do that, and I'm probably a minute over already, then we can run through that separately with you. And then just going on to the I3 questions. Will it work with Teams and Zoom? Well, I think Wayne covered that off. Yes, it absolutely will. As Wayne mentioned, you know, it's one cable, doesn't matter what solution you're using, whatever's on your laptop, it will integrate. So that's already answered within there. Do I really only need one cable? Yes, you do, believe it or not, which is, I know it's amazing. You might need a long cable in certain instances, but all you need is one cable. So that's great. Is it available in other sizes? So yes, there are a range of different screen sizes ranging from 55-inch right up to 86, I believe. So there are, you know, multiple different sizes there, not a problem. Is everything a customer needs included in the bundle? Yes, absolutely. So this is one of the key things and attractions certainly from us, and why I wanted to bring Wayne on, is that everything is within one bundle. So you have the screen, the camera, the cable, everything is included in there. So, and that is important when you're trying to position a meeting room. And as mentioned before, you know, these can be added to your per user per month licenses for as little as £1 to £2 a month. So it really is something that, you know, we can help you position and get marketed out there to your customers. That looks like all the questions for now. There might be a couple on there, but obviously I've run over, so I will reach out to you all individually. And that concludes our session. So look, guys, thank you ever so much for your time. I appreciate everybody's busy. I'm hoping everybody's seeing things going back to some normality now, and things picking up. I certainly know that we are with our partners. So any questions, feel free to reach out to us. But look, thank you ever so much for your time, and I hope you found it a good session. Thank you very much.